Hi, I'm Betty Banjack, and this is Look Who's Cooking. And today I'm with Larry Reed. Larry is an old Northstonian.
Yes.
Yes, he is, and he's been
Born
around,
and
and we'll
bred.
talk about that after a while. But he's going to show us a wonderful dish with artichokes. I found out artichokes, you either love them or you hate them.
Yes, this is
Well,
true.
we're going to love this. We're all going to love this one, I can tell. And why don't you just jump in there and start, and we'll start talking.
Okay. What we're going to make is actually an artichoke casserole. And you can use it either as a vegetable dish or you can use it as an hors d'oeuvre, which is basically how I usually do it. Very easy to make. First off, we're going to start with a small onion, which we peel, and we're going to saute.
Larry's one of these neat cooks.
I am
He
really.
puts everything in paper and throws it away. And
We're going to cut this up right in the frying pan,
just little pieces, huh? Slivers?
just small pieces.
Smells good.
Some people use a cutting board. I use my fingers. Hopefully keep them all.
Yeah, well, that always helps, you know,
Yeah.
keeping all your fingers.
Gives a little extra to the flavor. Okay, once we have the onion in here, then we simply take a clove of garlic,
With just one?
just one.
You're not overpowering it, right?
No. And you want your dinner guests to not gas you at the dinner table
Oh, yeah,
with the
that's-
garlic, so
Garlic tastes so good, and it tastes so good, and it tastes so good. And
very good, often, time and time again. This is just enough to give it a little bit of flavor, and of course it also smells wonderful while it's cooking. So that's the good part of that.
I can take that.
Okay, the next step,
Wait, you're going to want this on, right?
yeah,
That's my job, turning it on.
okay.
That's why I got this job. I'm the only one that knows how to work this burner.
All right, let's turn that down.
It's opposite.
Okay. What you then do, actually just leave it low because we'll put this in. The key ingredient is 2 jars of marinated artichoke hearts. And this is what gives you the juice as far as the sauteing is concerned. And you're going to use 2 jars. I'm only using 1 at the moment because it's easier for
Tell
our
them why.
purposes. Actually, because I forgot to buy the other jar
That
yesterday.
always helps, right?
But
Can you use fresh artichokes in this?
no, you have to use the marinated artichoke hearts.
Okay. Because look how neat. You notice how neat? Just wipes as he goes along. I hear you give a lot of dinner parties.
Yes,
And you're the neat cook.
I'm the neat cook. My wife is not the neat
not
cook.
the neat cook.
I won't say any
You
more
can't
than
say
that.
anymore because she'll be watching this soon. And
My wife is a gourmet cook, actually, but she destroys the kitchen. I'm the
funny.
opposite. And we joke about it a lot.
Larry's sort of a newlywed. I think it's sort of a new. How long have you been married now?
It will, actually, we're a newlywed considering the fact that we were childhood sweethearts and had a 30-year gap in our relationship. It's sort of a Oprah story. My wife and I met and spent our first night together in the hospital nursery at Montgomery Hospital.
I mean, not having a baby, by the way.
Not having
They
a
were
baby,
babies.
we were in the nursery.
They were the babies in the hospital.
Actually, our mothers were roommates for one night, and my mother came in. I was born that night, and my future wife was due to go home the following day. So we spent one night together in the nursery, and then we proceeded on this strange parallel.
Through junior high, you said. and
Junior
then-
high, we went to the same church, went through confirmation. We were baptized the same day, different times in the same church, the Old Trinity Lutheran on DeKalb Street in Norristown. And we went to junior high and high school together, but we actually dated when we were about 10 or 12. My wife went to a
10 or 12.
private elementary school where they had social dancing as part of their curriculum. And I was the date, brought her gardenia corsages for her little formals that took place.
Listen, you didn't answer my question. How long have you been married?
Well, after a 30-year gap, we finally got married in 1987.
Oh, that's not so long.
So-
That's pretty long ago now, huh?
We will be celebrating our 17th anniversary
Oh, that's not so new. I thought it was
Actually-
like 7 years. I really did.
Easter Sunday.
I know.
So
And when if we had time, we'd tell you the whole story. You'd be rolling on the floor.
it's,
But with everything, with getting married and everything else, and it's really quite funny, but I don't know if we have the time.
We
We
don't
don't
have
want to be
time.
rolling on the floor. We want to cook, you know. And the big thing, they base their whole marriage is having a good time, and I think
Yes.
that's good.
and we still do that. We're both only children. So as we jokingly refer to it, we're still learning to share our toys and having fun doing it.
I never had to learn. Only child, never got married. Look about me.
Well, what can I say?
I don't know. What can we say?
All right, now,
But, oh.
what we have done, we've taken, imagine 2 jars. I've used one, but you actually need 2 small jars of the marinated artichoke hearts. We've chopped these up so that they're now small. We are sauteing the onions and the garlic here so that it browns a little bit, and it's also absorbing the liquid from the artichoke hearts. At this point, we now need our eggs. Wipe
Look at this,
out a
Mister.
little
I
bit.
can't believe how neat. Just, we'll clean it.
I know, that's all right.
He knows we don't have sinks here.
It's a little hard when
He
you
came
don't
in,
have
he said,
running
"Where's
water.
the water source?" And I looked at him and laughed. Right?
Absolutely.
Water source?
All right, we're using 4 eggs.
Okay.
So you have
The regular
2 jars
large.
of marinated artichoke hearts, 1 small onion, 1 clove of garlic, and 4 eggs.
That bottle, see the little bottle the artichokes came in? They're nice little bottles to keep. If you buy your spices in bulks or, you know, things
Yeah.
like that, they're just nice little jars. And you can get in because it's, see, there's a big top on it. It's not one of those little ones you can't get a spoon in. So I always like to use these for spices and all. I
It
buy a
is
lot of my
nice.
stuff in bulk.
Okay, we're going
Smells
to turn
good.
this off.
And you're gonna
Now,
beat
we
up the egg.
basically want to beat the eggs a little bit.
Now, you said you taught for 34 years.
Yes.
But not in Norristown.
No, I taught for 28 years at Overbrook Senior High School in West Philadelphia, and I guess my major claim to fame is I taught Will Smith.
Oh, that,
And-
Will Smith, Bel Air Prince?
Fresh Air, yeah, Fresh
Yeah.
Air. Prince,
Yeah, whatever.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Oh, okay, you got it.
And when I had Will in class, he had just started recording, and he was the Fresh Prince with Jazzy Jeff, his friend. And Will was an excellent student.
Was he?
I had him for government, economics, and Will would come in every so often after school, and we'd solve the problems of the world together. Very, very bright guy, and exactly as you see him in interviews, this
That's
is
him?
his personality. He
And
is a nut.
It's him. It's just
He
him.
is a
huh?
nut. But I remember one afternoon in particular, we were talking about his recording career, and being the teacher, you know, you guide your students appropriately. And I
hope.
remember saying to him, well, you know, this rap type music is new, it's a fad, it won't last that long, so make sure you diversify.
That was your
And
advice, huh?
Since he's now a major movie star and producer and everything else, I figure at least he took my advice and
Oh, I
diversified.
agree. It was your advice.
So,
Oh, that's a fun
but then
story.
after I left Overbrook, I went to Central, and I
That's in
spent my
Philadelphia
last
too?
6 years at Central. Central is the top academic high school in the state, and actually the oldest public high school in the country outside of the Boston Latin School. So it's a very, very unique place.
It's old.
It's old. It has a wonderful reputation, tradition, and a lot of history with it. Excellent students.
And then you did a complete reverse, and now you're at the SAC Center?
Yes, I am the site manager for the Senior Adult Activity Center, and I also run the adult daycare program. So it's a real pleasure. As my wife said, I've always been a hit with the little old ladies, and if anyone found a job tailored to their needs and
This is it.
desires, I have finally found it. So I'm having a ball.
I actually met Larry when I was with the Norristown Preservation Society.
Yes.
And Larry had a great house right on the corner of Stanbridge and Erie. And we talked to him, which we did at that time, a lot of people. We talked him into showing this house during a house tour we were having.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I first met you.
Yes.
At the,
We had fun.
Oh, we did.
We
Preservation
had,
was
I
great.
think about 14 or 15 houses that year on the tour with the Preservation Society, and it was a good house tour.
that was the
A lot of
largest house
interesting
tour
architecture
at
in
that
Norristown.
time. When I was involved, we had 2 house tours and a church tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that tour was the best because it was the best weather, it was everything. The next
Yes,
house
it
tour
was
we
a
had, it
gorgeous
poured
day.
rain. But you
Yes.
know what? 452 people came out in the pouring rain to look at everybody else's house, so that was pretty
Well,
good.
when your house is open on a house tour, believe me, you want good weather. And you figure all of these people are coming through your house. You want to show off your house to the best advantage, but at the same time,
Preserve your rugs
you
and
want
your stuff, yeah.
a nice day to
I
bring
always
the people
commended
through.
the people that agreed to be on those house tours, even today when they have them. I really do. It's not easy. It's just
It's a
not
lot of
easy.
work, really is, because you see your house in a totally different light from the standpoint that all of these people are coming through to look at architecture, to look at wallpaper, to look at furnishings, antiques,
Just to look.
whatever.
They're
Yeah.
nosy. That's why so
So,
many of those people do.
You do a lot of work. I was up late the night before.
Well, not only that, see, everybody, you look at your house different, and then you start looking through different eyes, then you, I know somebody, I can't remember who, out of that whole deal, wound up spending like $5,000 worth of work, because when they took a look at what they had, they couldn't stand it, redid it for the
Yeah.
house tour. I don't remember who that was, but it was
Yeah.
the first tour. They just spent, but they liked it, and it turned out okay. But
Yeah.
that's what happens. That's like, with any old houses, they look nice, they're cute, they're quaint. Don't take out one nail. As soon as you take out one nail, the whole place falls apart. You're in there forever.
Well, with old houses too, there's always work to do, and there's always money to spend.
that's why you
So
bought
you
a
have
new
to
one, huh?
really like old houses. What my wife and I have done now, we bought a brand new house 6 years ago, actually going on 7. And we're turning it into an 18th century house
Yeah, I've been
on
there.
the
It's really
inside.
nice. It's
So
really
we're,
nice. And they
we're
live in
trying to do the
Royersford.
opposite without having to
Yeah.
spend a lot of work and effort.
Royersford,
Limerick.
Lewis Road, Limerick.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure
Mhm.
what. I never know where the lines are drawn at that place. Okay, what are we going to do next with this?
All right, we have the 4 eggs, which we've beaten. We've poured the artichoke hearts into the eggs. And what we're going to do now is take the sauteed onions and put them in the
Garlic.
mixture as well, along with the garlic. And stir it up a little.
We try to find an artichoke, a real whole artichoke to show
Yeah.
you guys, but we forgot it, and then we couldn't find one here at the school. They just don't have any artichokes at the high school, I guess. And but I always find them very pretty, and I like them decoratively. They're difficult to eat.
They are.
You have to dip them and pull
Peel
off
them
those
all
little
apart.
things and
That's
push them through
why
your teeth. And
This is so easy. This recipe is really a no-brainer, and it turns out so delicious that it impresses your guests at dinner, but you do need the artichoke hearts, and that's
Yeah.
what makes it so easy.
if you got a fresh one, and try to get the hearts. It takes forever to get it.
No, it's not
You
worth
probably
it.
need, for this little bottle, I bet 10, 15
Probably.
artichokes to get the hearts. Uh-oh, cheese.
Now, you have your choice here. This happens to be sharp cheddar. You can also use Swiss cheese. if you prefer. It gives it a little different consistency and flavor, but either the cheddar or the Swiss are equally good. What you
mean
then
the
do,
orange cheddar?
I'm
The
sorry?
orange cheddar?
I prefer
White.
the white cheddar.
It looks nicer.
Yeah, it really does. What you then do is just mix this all up a little bit. Then Tabasco,
I gotta watch this.
a
Okay,
couple squirts,
not too bad.
depending on your flavor. I like to use lemon and pepper seasoning in most things that I cook. And again, just sprinkle to your heart's content.
Smell it coming up already.
A little bit of oregano, and that's it. So Tabasco, oregano, and lemon pepper seasoning if you like.
Is that it? I thought I saw some other bottles.
Nope, that's it.
I'm having trouble with my microphone today again, gang.
And you just mix it all up. And then we're going to take some cooking spray. You have a choice with this. The way I have always done it, as I said earlier, is use it as an hors d'oeuvre. And the easiest way to do that is in a square baking dish. Usually a glass baking dish is better. You can also dump the whole content into a pie pan. Again, I would use a glass pie plate simply because I think it would cook easier. And you can then cut it in wedges if you want. I usually just cut it in squares and serve it that way. So again, you're going to spray the dish a little with the cooking spray and basically pour it in the dish.
That's pretty easy.
It's really very easy. The taste, the flavor, the whole presentation of it really makes your guests think that you've spent a lot longer in the kitchen than what you have, which is always nice.
That's good. That's
Yes.
the main objective.
Make them think that you've slaved away for them, you know, when in reality, it hasn't taken you all that long. What you then do, there is your casserole, and you're going to put this in the oven. The oven is 325 degrees, and you're going to bake it for 45 minutes. Now, something that you can serve along with this that is very good is another dish that I've used a lot, and it's called Virginia Beach chicken. And Virginia Beach chicken is something else that is very simple to make, but in reality looks a little bit more complicated by the time you serve it. Again, you would take a baking dish, line the baking dish, spray it first, line the baking dish with pieces of dried beef. And that you can buy in the
Dry beef store.
dry beef store. You can get it where the hot dogs, the bacon,
Yeah,
usually
that kind
that sort of thing is located. But you line the dish with the dry beef, put maybe 4, 6 boneless chicken breasts on top of the dry beef. Then you take a can of cream of mushroom soup, a pint of sour cream, and the good part, you take the empty can from the soup and you fill it as far as you wish with sherry. Mix it all together. Depending how happy you want your guests to be, you fill the can a little higher, of course.
You gave me that recipe. Did that have sherry in it?
Yes.
I don't remember. I
Yeah.
have to go look.
And mix that all together. Pour it over the chicken and the dry beef. Put that in the oven for an hour and a half at 350, and you've got an entree that, again, is something different, looks unique, and has a very interesting flavor because of the dry beef.
You're going to, if anyone wants this, Larry, I had the recipes already.
Mm-hmm.
They were in one of my columns, and I will send this along to you, along with that Virginia Beach chicken.
It's a nice compliment.
It is believe it or not, the dry beef and the chicken
Mm-hmm.
are really good together. I can't exactly.
Yeah.
Everything's sort of like the chicken's plain. Dry beef spices.
The
it
dry
up.
beef adds a little flavor to it. It adds a little salt to it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, people on low sodium diets should not have dry beef,
They
but
use that ham dry beef.
you can, adjust it a little bit. But the flavoring is very good, and the sherry provides sherry, the sour cream, and the cream of mushroom soup provide sort of a sauce for it, which is also very good.
So if you want these recipes, remember to write. You'll see the graphic at the end of the show. And that's what we're going to do. Now, we're not going to make the chicken today
No.
because we just don't have the time. Now, okay, what are we going to do next with this?
Okay, this we're going to put in the oven and wait 45 minutes, so to speak,
Yes.
and on 325 degrees. And
Yeah.
this, again, depending on how large a piece you cut, as an hors d'oeuvre, it can serve 6-8 people without any problem. It's not something you're going to serve a whole lot of, okay? In other words,
I was
it's
gonna ask you
more,
about that. Do you think if you got bigger wedges, you could serve that like a salad for luncheon?
would be delicious. All you'd have to do would be to double the recipe, therefore it would make it higher, and it would be a little more filling as far as a luncheon
With a
entree.
little salad or
Yeah.
something.
Tossed
Look, that's what
salad
I
or
see,
Caesar
this
salad.
Maybe made in 6 pieces, 8 pieces, and served with the salad, where they'd really think you were.
You could also do that in the 9-inch pie plate,
Oh, wedges.
and then you'd have the wedge of this and then your salad on the side. So it would be nice.
That would be nice. Besides that chicken, the Virginia Beach chicken, you have anything else you'd like to save this with, or is that always companion to each other?
No, it's a nice companion. Believe it or not, I also do a flounder in a sour cream sauce that works well with this. And you just put flounder fillets, again, it's very easy. You put flounder fillets in a dish, you take an onion, slice it horizontally, and you use the rings. Separate the rings of the onion, coat the fish with the rings on it. Little pepper, the lemon and pepper. You can also put some oregano on that. Chives, if you want, complements the onion flavoring. And then what I usually do is take 2 pints of sour cream
Pints?
and just pour the sour cream over the fish and over the onions. You bake it, that's 325 for about 45 minutes. Because again, you just want the fish to flake as opposed to anything
Okay, is
else.
this going to go in the oven?
Yes.
Okay, we have one in the oven.
Yes.
By the miracle of television.
Finished. Got it?
Ooh.
Okay, this is actually the finished product. As you can see, it does come out more or less as a pie type consistency. And what we're going to do is
Look at the
obviously
dishes.
sample it. Well,
Look at the-
my
you have to
philosophy is if you're going to serve something, you have to make a good presentation
Look
with
at
it.
those dishes.
These happen to be 2 antique Noritake Japanese dishes, and
They're very pretty.
it makes it a lot nicer when you eat it.
Can you tell I like those dishes?
I think I better watch them
You better
at the
watch
end of the
those
show.
dishes. You only have 2, huh?
Only 2 with me.
Only 2 with you. Oh.
Only 2 with me. Actually, I have a set of 4. Bought them at a antique
Now,
show
this
one
is your
time.
normal serving size, right?
This is the normal serving size, which is maybe, what, 3-inch square, something
yeah,
like that.
Sort of like that.
And
Oh my.
plastic forks.
Oh, plastic. We have regular forks, but the plastic forks go so well with this beautiful china.
Absolutely. Now we try it. Very good,
In trouble.
even if I say so myself.
Oh, you're allowed. Nice taste.
We can just spend the rest of the show eating.
Okay. Talk amongst yourselves, as they say. Oh, this is good. I had one more mouthful before I.
The one thing, again, you can adjust depending on your taste and the people that you're serving, would be you could also add salt.
Okay.
And the lemon pepper has some seasoning salt in it, but just salt specifically a little bit if you'd like.
And I'm sure so many of you would like more Tabasco sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's all part of your choice and all.
If you want it to have a little bite, it is increased. If you want it a little milder, actually, there is quite a bit of Tabasco in this, but you don't really taste it all
Well,
that much.
There can't be, because I can't eat hot food and I don't taste it.
No.
Let me taste again. Let me see if I can taste it. That's a joke. It's really good. You think you can
It
serve
works
this
for
cold?
me. You could serve it cold, but it wouldn't be as good. You could probably do it on a summer evening, you know, something like that before dinner. But again, the flavors don't blend as well with it being cold as if it were hot.
And you could cut them smaller, like little squares,
Mm-hmm.
or like little.
You could put them
hors
on a serving plate, even with toothpicks, and do it that
Or little
way
paper.
as an hors d'oeuvre, and just serve it.
I'm having a terrible time with my mic today. I think it doesn't want to.
They're all connected.
Even little papers.
Mhm.
Put them in the middle of those little papers. You can get them
Right.
now in the.
You really, it's the type of thing you can do a lot with. And depending, you know, use your own creative juices and see what you come up with.
I have a
But
question.
it's a nice dish to serve.
This artichoke hearts. About how much do they cost? About $1 something?
I think
About.
they're like $1.80, $1.90,
So
something
it's
like
a
that.
pretty reasonable dish
It's
for
a
how
very
many people you're
inexpensive
spending.
dish.
Now, as I said, or he said, he only put one in this one, so you can get away
Yeah.
doing that too. And the cheese, it's a pretty economical dish, even though it's so.
The cheese, I think, was $2.59,
that
something
sounds
like
about
that.
right for cheese. It's a normal
So-
big pack of cheese costs that.
For really probably $6,
And
you've
that's a
got a
good-
nice hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah,
And
or dinner or whatever.
again, it doesn't take you that long to make it, so it's not all time consuming that if you're having a dinner party, you're going to spend the whole time in the kitchen, and you don't want to do that because you really want to be with your guests and sit with them.
You can make it ahead then too, I guess. And
You
then
can make
keep
it ahead.
And then put it in the oven.
I have done that already where I've made it the night before. Again, the seasonings all blend, the flavors blend together, and then what I do is simply warm it in the oven right before the company
Yeah,
comes.
oh, then, yeah, I was saying
and-
if you cooked it and put it in the oven and kept it, it wouldn't be as good as if
No.
you just kept it, you know,
And I would not put it in the microwave,
not the microwave.
not to warm it up.
This is
I
not a
would use the
microwave
oven.
we have
No.
behind us. This is a convection oven, so
Right.
just that it goes 1/3 faster than regular ovens. It's really quite
Mm-hmm.
nice. We need to clean that. It's getting a little, you know, we use it quite often, and we have all this thing. So, oh, this is really good. I'm really thrilled that
Well,
you came.
it's something that's different. Again, it makes a nice presentation, and your guests think that you've spent a lot of time.
How do artichokes grow? Do they grow like Brussels sprouts?
You have me completely.
Me too.
I
So
don't
with
know.
that, we're going to leave you guys so we can keep eating, you know. So if you want the recipes, send in. And again, this is Betty Banjak and Larry Reed for Look Who's Cooking. We'll see you real soon now. Bye.